issue on bees when we had the aphid problem and everybody was flying over. The planes were about to hit each other. I mean, what's that do to our bee population? And I mean, is it going to be a problem?
It depends. We do have, this last year, historically, we've always had what's called a sensitive site registry. And that's designed so that before folks fly aerial applications of insecticides, they have to look to see for folks that have registered that the bees are in that area. They have to call those beekeepers. And they have to give them 24 to 72 hours notice that they're going to fly that area. And what those beekeepers will do then is go to those hives, get the bees in, lock them down, and then you spray that farm. And so that has worked on and off through the past. This last year, we tried to increase the usability of that, and then we also added organics to it. We added orchards and vineyards as well. But it's mostly organics and bees is the focus. Because organics is the same kind of thing. You got an issue out there where when you're flying, you can't see bees and you can't see organics because they're just as green as the conventional crops that are there. And if you have drift issues on the organic field, you have the potential of losing your certification on that field. So we had a lot of folks that signed up. We had some additional signs that went out to be able to mark some of these. We didn't have everybody sign up by long ways. It didn't work perfect, but it worked better as far as more notification. Our biggest challenge has always been the out-of-state folks that are coming in that are flying, that don't necessarily know what it's like here. They can come in, they can get licensed, and they can fly. But the challenge is, do they know, and do they know how we do things here? And some of them will come in and even say that, you know, in our state, drift's not a problem. People don't mind other areas getting sprayed because it kills bugs. That's not the way it is here. We're about spraying that field. You have a complete legal right to spray that field. No one can prevent you from spraying that field. But you don't have a right to be able to drift that onto somebody else's. We'll have some issues. Last year, that as we looked at final numbers, we probably, if I remember right, we had about 25,000 flights. Or, I think it was flights. 25,000 flights are fields. I think it was flights. And we had about 50 complaints, of which half of those turned out not to be a problem. What will happen, somebody has a complaint, they call our pesticide investigators, they'll go right out and pull up vegetation or other kinds of things that should show the drift. Take it back to our lab in Ankeny, and then we'll analyze it and see if there's any pesticide or fungicide that moved onto that other crop or water or whatever else is out there. And about half of those turned out not to be a problem. We also know there's folks out there that have a problem that don't call. So that doesn't mean that that's the only problems that there have been. But for the most part, stuff is going. But anytime you have that many planes flying, and people in a big hurry, because aphids were nasty. And they were increasing in numbers, and it could be very damaging to soybeans, and folks were in a hurry. And so there was a lot of stuff going on, and we need to look to see if we can run that sensitive site registry better. Maybe notification can be done through the site, or other kinds of ways of making it work a little bit better. I think in the end, what we want is we want to be able to keep the bees out there. We want to be able to keep the organics. Folks should be able to do that. But we also want to be able to find a way that people can spray legal products as well, just not drift onto somebody else when that happens. So some way of trying to, you know, folks get along and do what's legal, but not negatively impact their neighbor in the process.